Hi, this is Dr. Jade Millay. Are you one of the millions of people suffering with the symptoms of diabetes? I work with many diabetics over my career, and the most common symptoms that I hear, number one is fatigue. You just don't feel any energy, no matter how much you sleep, no matter how much you rest, you just don't have any energy. And this impacts your work, it impacts your family life, it affects your self-esteem because you just can't do things. Second thing I hear is joint pain. This is a problem of inflammation. Your brain is sluggish, just not working. Gut problems, GI problems, can't sleep, can't think, and the list can go on and on and on. This can turn into things like neuropathy, sexual dysfunction, so forth and so on. The outcome, the outlook for someone who's diabetic, actually, do you realize that once someone is diagnosed with diabetes, that 10 years is cut off of their lifespan? 10 years. And how do you want to spend the next years that you have available? Do you want a good quality of life? Or do you want to just continue going down the path that you've been going down? So, high blood sugar, let's talk about that. That's what you have. That's what type 2 diabetes is high sugar in the bloodstream. So realize that this sugar in the bloodstream is toxic. Think of it like shards of glass. Anything that it comes into contact with, it's going to destroy. This is why diabetics will develop diabetic retinopathy, blindness, kidney problems, kidney failure, dialysis, neuropathy. This is where the sugar is now destroying the nerves. You will see liver damage. And the list can go on and on and on. There's a phrase that we use in this industry, and it's called time is tissue. So for those of you who've been diabetic for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, can you imagine the amount of damage that has been happening to your body over this time? All this time, this toxic sugar, which for some of you, you're peeing it out, your body's naturally trying to get rid of it, it is destroying tissue. Time is tissue. Think of it as if you're rusting from the inside out. And you're a ticking time bomb. This affects the cardiovascular system. It affects the brain. Realize this is called type 2 diabetes. Don't be naive to think that it's the only diabetes out there. There's actually another called type 3 diabetes. And guess what it is? It's Alzheimer's and dementia. So this can affect the brain. When I say affect the brain, we're talking about brain fog, just can't think clearly, can't concentrate, but also affects mood. So you may be more moody than you used to be. Or you can't think clearly, or you can't concentrate, or you can't focus. But this can develop into type 3 diabetes. Cancer. What does cancer live off of? Sugar, right? So you have the perfect food source for cancer to live in your body. This sugar is toxic. We have to get your blood sugar levels under control, or the outcome for you is not going to be very good. So in our office, what we do differently is we find out why you have high blood sugar. Some of you don't even know the reason why. Your doctors aren't concentrating on that. They're just concentrating on what drug to give you next. This drug isn't working anymore, well, let's move on to this. This amount of insulin isn't working anymore, well, let's up it to this. Well, now you have high blood pressure, well, let me give you a drug for that. Now you have high cholesterol, let me give you a drug for that. You have neuropathy now, let me give you a drug for that. It's the same thing over and over and over. And they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting something different to happen. So if you feel like you're in that insanity loop and you want to get out, well then I'd love to meet you and talk with you. Again, our approach is different. What we do is find out the reason why this is happening. Find out all the imbalances as to why your body isn't working properly, why you have high blood sugar, and fix those things. Now the tricky part is that each one of you out there is going to have a different reason. That's why the cookie cutter approach, everyone's on the same medication, everyone's on the same treatment plan for their diabetes, is not working. I think we can all agree that in our country, diabetes is getting worse, not better. You should be asking yourself, why is that? Why is this condition getting worse, not better? I don't want to go into that right now, but I want to go into you. And what is it you want? Do you want something different? Do you want to be in control of your health instead of this condition having control over you? Because I'm sure a lot of you out there feel powerless. You feel like this condition has more power over you than you have over it. Well, I want to change that game. I want you to have power over this condition and have control over your life, control over the trajectory of your life, than just succumbing to what you know will ultimately happen if we don't do something. So I'd love to meet with you if you want to take a different outlook, if you want to take a different path. If anything from this recording that you get from me today is knowing that you have different options. You have a choice. Your health is a choice. I can show you cases after cases where we've been able to reduce and reverse type 2 diabetes, get people off medication, help people lose weight, and basically help people get their life back. If that's what you want, and you want it more than anything in your life right now, that's the kind of dedication that I'm looking for. Is someone who knows that they want something different and they're willing to do whatever it takes. You know, they say if you want something different, you have to do something different. Well, this is exactly that. If you're in that wheel, that hamster wheel of doing the same thing over and over and over, and you want to break out of that wheel, well, then I'd love to talk with you. And make sure that number one, I can help you. Number two, that we would make a good team and that you're willing to do the work. I know I can figure this problem out. I just need to work with the right person who matches up with my goals, my structure, and willing to make the changes that are needed. So if that sounds like you, I'd be happy to talk with you and learn how we can change this whole picture for you. I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you information, but also spurred you on that there is hope. Don't ever lose hope. There is hope with this disease. Hopefully, I'll get to talk to you soon.